We got to take back some of these seats, especially in these local elections. We need a group of sleepers. We need some folks that can wear all black at night and take their yard signs down when they sleeping.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Cox, and I'm the host of the New America Movement. I have my co-host, Jordan Cox, with me. Jordan, say hello.
What's going on, everybody?
Man,
how y'all doing?
We got some crazy stuff going on here.
Oh, so
Did
much.
you know, apparently, Krystle Matthews is on crystal meth?
She must be.
I mean, look what she's done.
I think that should be.
Have you been reading up on her? What is she smoking?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I think that should be a hashtag. Hashtag.
That should
Krystle.
be a reality show.
It should be a reality show.
I mean, I'm telling you, who wouldn't want to watch that? Who believes in America that an American politician in the South, now, she's a Democrat, right? 117th District in Berkeley and Charleston County. She's running in the U.S. Senate against Tim Scott, and she calls a correctional facility. Jordan, jump in on this because, you know, you're calling a correctional facility. Now, you're calling family members. You're trying to hook up a score. What's the deal here? Because it's just very interesting that she's not aware of what happens when you call a correctional facility.
Well, so let me lay some foundation here. Krystle Matthews is a state rep, and she is running for Congress and everything. So she makes this
She's running for the Senate with Tim Scott, against Tim Scott.
Okay, so she ran for the Senate. Sorry, she ran for the Senate against Tim Scott. And what she's doing is she's making a call to Perry Correction Facility. And on the call is two people. You have David Ballard. That's the man on the phone, and you have Taisha Aiken. That's the woman on the phone, the other woman with Krystle Matthews. So you have Krystle Matthews, Taisha Aiken, and then you have David Ballard.
Now, David Ballard is the one in prison. Is that correct?
Correct, for 14 years.
From what we understand. Okay.
He is in jail for 14 years. He threatened to kill an elected official. The elected official was a elected sheriff. Threatened to kill him and his whole family, even the children. He then goes and hits a cop when the warrant was served for his arrest. A
little bit violent, I would say. Just a little, not your average.
Yeah,
church
well, he's in
Sunday
jail
school
for
boy.
activism, for political activism. So yeah, he's violent. This is all what this is about, is political activism. And so then he goes and he has multiple DUI arrests, and this is the one that, you know, really should, you know, I know threatening people's family is a big thing, but he's selling drugs to children under the age of 18. That's another charge he's got. So needless to say, this guy isn't the guy that you want to be talking to about your political aspirations. Well, she gets on this phone call, and she distinctly, you know, is Taisha on the line. And they say, yeah, she's on. Well, they start talking. Krystle Matthews starts talking about this plan that she has. And she says, well, first of all, the guy on the phone, David Ballard, he says, how can we help you? Tell us how we can help you. And she says, well, you know, fundraising, money, all this stuff I need, you know, anything like that. She said,
I still got to struggle to raise money for my campaign. Where the is my black people with money? I don't care about no dope money. Give me that dope boy money. Where the duffel bag boys?
But I got this plan, and it's a bit radical. It's a bit crazy, and a lot of people aren't going to get it, but it can work. And the plan is this.
We need some secret sleepers. Like, we need them to run as the other side, even though they for our side. And we need them to win. Right. We need people to run as Republicans in these local elections. So this is the only way you're going to change the dynamics in South Carolina.
We're going to get a bunch of Democrats that are going to run as Republicans. Now, she calls them sleepers. When you listen to the audio, you will hear her and she say, we need sleepers, which means a Democrat running as a Republican or a Republican running as a Democrat.
We can battle them in public all day. As long as we know we're working for the same goal, for me, I feel like, y'all, we need sleepers. When we get enough of us in there, we can wreak havoc for real from the inside out. Then we can flip some from the inside out.
Okay, let me clarify this now. So she's got this plan. Now, she's a state rep already since 2018. She's got about 4 years under her belt. So she's not a novice. She knows the system.
Correct.
And she's also a political activist, apparently, because she's trying to create this scheme, which she says...
Oh, she says she is in the audio.
Yep. So apparently she's wanting to get minorities on her side to run as conservatives in the Republican Party, and as once they're in there, then they explode as liberals and together push their legislation against the Conservative Party. So now we have a term for this called RINOs. Now, what do you think the difference between a RINO and a sleeper is then?
Well, the difference would be nothing. I mean, that is what a RINO is. That's the definition of it. The problem we have as conservatives and Republicans, and I'm not afraid to say this because I really don't care who gets upset about it, is we have a problem with calling our own people RINOs and stuff. And you know, and whenever real RINOs come up, like Krystle Matthews and what she's trying to do, it downplays legitimate RINOs. Whenever that's the word you go, it's like racism, right?
Yeah,
if you overuse racism like they've been doing, real racists are going to skate by and you're not going to see it. But so Krystle Matthews, she gets in, she talks about how we need sleepers. We need sleepers, and we need people to come in, run as Republicans that will be liberals, that will be Democrats, and get into office.
We can wreak havoc for real from the inside out. Then we can flip some from the inside out.
So what we need to do is get these people in office at the state level, and then once they're in, they'll run as Republican. And when they're at the family cookout, when they're at their family's house, their families are going to look at them and say, why are you a Republican? You are a Democrat. They're going to get she says this all on the audio. Y'all can listen to it. Go to the Overton Report, Substack.com. The whole thing is there. And so she gets in there and she says, no one can know about this, even your family. So they're going to ask you, hey, like, why are you running? Why are you doing this? You're going to have to bite your tongue, take it on the chin. That's what she says, because no one can know about it. So she has this plan of let's put these Democrat liberals in office as Republicans because we have open primaries. We can do that here in South Carolina, which, by the way, I'm totally against. I don't know about you, but I'm totally against it. But she comes in, and before I continue, this is just a question I want to ask you. Do you think this has already happened?
Sure it has.
Okay, because we have people like Kathy Manis, who just ran for the school superintendent. She has very, very, very liberal ideas. She has surrounded herself with Democrats and liberals and all this and all of this ideology, and she's okay with it.
Also thank NLC President Kathy Manis of Lexington, South Carolina, for her visionary leadership, particularly to advance youth civic engagement in our cities.
So it begs the question, is she one? Not saying she is, just saying it begs that question. Also, you have Willie Terrell down in the lower part of the state, and both of these people lost, Kathy Manis and Willie Terrell, but they both ran as Republicans. You know, they both ran as, and they're not, and they, nothing about them screams Republican.
That is the problem in South Carolina. You have open primaries, and you always have these liberal Democrats and even some moderate Democrats that run in our primaries, and they run on our platform, and then once they're elected, then they start leaning to the middle, and then for long they're leaning to the left. Now, let me say this, Jordan. To me, a true Republican is one who supports the Republican platform. And what you're seeing this Krystle Matthews is making an attempt to do is she wants to go under the guidelines of the Republican Party once in office, pushed these far left-wing radical ideologies. Now, you got to ask yourself this question, is the leadership in this state that blind they couldn't see that? But you do have a lot of people who are very tolerable of rhinos who fly under the flag Republican Party. What do you think? No,
you're absolutely 100% correct about that. And that's the problem we have here in South Carolina. There's a lot that's going on with this stuff. You're known by what you do. And Krystle Matthews is now saying that all of this is a lie, that this was taken out of context.
It should be noted that this doctor audio is being leaked by Project Veritas, a known white supremacist group.
Project Veritas uncovered all of this, and that Project Veritas is a white supremacy organization. Well, Project Veritas sent a African-American gentleman because during the phone call, Krystle Matthews says,
I can move in all kinds of circles, but I'm I love black people. I feel safest around my people. I'm very much in a lot of ways.
Yep. And that she wants to be surrounded by real black people like that. And so Project Veritas uncovers this. And so she gets confronted by Project Veritas, an African-American gentleman. He comes to a restaurant that she's eating at, and he sits down and says, look, like, asking her all these questions, everything she said during the phone call, asking her everything. And then he gets to, you said you felt more comfortable with a black man. I'm a black man. I'm here. Talk to me.
Do you not recognize me? Am I one of the black people you said you don't recognize?
Honestly, these ain't the same type of black people that I grew up around. I don't recognize these black people.
And she just keeps denying, don't want to talk to you, I want to finish my food, don't want to talk to you. Well, she finally gets up and leaves the restaurant because she don't want to answer any questions. Here's the deal. Whenever you get caught, Krystle Matthews talking to you, whenever you get caught, everybody and their mama's going to want answers. Everybody's going to want to know what you meant by you were okay with taking dope money. And I don't know any good answer you can give to that. So they're coming in because you're calling them a white supremacist group. They employ a bunch of, they have a good amount of employees. A lot of them are minorities. They send this black gentleman over there and they talk to her, and she won't even talk to the black gentleman. So which is it, Krystle? Is it a criminal black person that you feel more comfortable with?
For me, I feel like, y'all, we need sleepers. We need a group of sleepers. And I still got to struggle to raise money for my campaign. Where the is my black people with money? I don't care about no dope money. Give me that dope boy money.
Is that what you meant? I'm asking questions. That's all. I'm asking questions.
You almost have to laugh at this. And I know there are a lot of comics around the country that should be having a good time with this because, I made light of the fact that is Krystle Matthews on Krystle Meth. You got to wonder, to say those kind of things, to know, first of all, you're calling a prison.
That's being recorded.
You know it's recorded. And you're asking for drug money. You're asking to get money for drugs that you can use.
Asking for sleepers.
And then you got this plot in our country about using your system to overthrow our system and to further your cause. Is that comical? You tell me what you think.
It's extremely comical. And this is what Democrats do. They'll call these correction facilities. And they'll get these gang members. And these guys he actually on the phone call, David actually says, the guy on the phone call, that you can get in touch with this guy. He's blood.
You got this one young brother that he be on the front line with me when I was out there. He's organized. He's blood. But he very political. So we're going to reach out to him and see if y'all can have a face-to-face. About what we need him, and I'm gonna have to test him.
Not he's blood like we're family. He's blood like in the gang. Okay, so he says all of that, and then she comes back and says, okay, well, I need to get in touch with him. So now you're talking about being in business with gangbangers. Is that a good look for a state rep to be involved with drug money, gangbangers, and everything? Because it becomes a RICO case then. It becomes a legitimate money laundering RICO case of some sort, because they're going to say, how'd you get this money? This is drug money. You took that drug money, you put it into your campaign, and then you put it back out. That's no different than laundering money.
Okay, here's the deal. You got to ask yourself this question. Does Berkeley County and Charleston have anything better to offer South Carolina? If this is your best Charleston and Berkeley County, you are in trouble. I want to challenge you to really take a look at who you've got in office and ask yourself, are you good with this? Is this what represents America? Is this the South? Is this what represents minorities? You have a lady who is literally willing to commit any crime possible in any means to be able to stay elected and push her cause regardless of the outcomes. Close with it, Jordan. Tell me what you think.
No, you're absolutely right. She was willing to go out on a very big limb to further her cause and try to get more Democrats in South Carolina to run as Republicans, to do damage on the inside, to undermine Republicans, to undermine conservatives, to actually push the liberal agenda, and that is something that has to stop in the state of South Carolina. But I want to mention this real fast. If you want the actual full story, because this is a little clip of everything, but if you want the actual full story that explains the entirety of it, and the events that lead up to it, all the connections and whatnot, it's all sourced, and you should go check it out and get an idea of exactly how deep all of this goes. You need to go to the Overton Report and check it out on the Overton Report Substack.com. They will have a whole article about it, so you need to check that out. But this blows my mind how in South Carolina we have this, and the question has to be asked. This is what real rhinos are, right? This is what real rhinos are. People that are legitimate Democrats running as Republicans. That's what that is. We have got to stop throwing rhino out at anybody that we just don't like because it waters down the actual term. We have legitimate rhinos. So you have to understand we have got to stop watering down that word because we have legitimate ones that are in this state that won't turn South Carolina blue.
Absolutely right. Jordan, it's been a great show. This is crazy. You can't make this stuff up. If I had to write an article and I wanted something really absurd and that I thought could be just really off the charts, I couldn't come up with nothing like this. This is almost something like out of a fairy tale book. So you heard it from us, Krystle Matthews.
You said it right the first time. Krystle Matthews
is willing to take drug money to push her cause in the State House. Thank you so much, New American Movement. God bless you. We'll see you later. Thank you and have a good day.
We got to take back some of these seats, especially in these local elections. We need a group of sleepers. We need some folks that can wear all black at night and take their yard signs down when they sleeping.